Alright there, Jerome Yorkie here. Welcoming back to the second game I'll be interweaving in the final whistle slot. Football Manager 2024. Yes, it returns. Couldn't stay away, could I? Now, I did mention on the vote for what would be in logical lunchbox streaming slot, this was an option. I'm not going to do that, I'm going to put it in here. And I originally said I was going to do a creator club, my club, for Yorkie Town Athletic, but that doesn't seem possible if you use a database that's modified. So I'm using the tier 13 database I found, and I'll be starting unemployed. I've created a me. There we are. Fat but younger, 25 years old. And the storyline behind this one, the get in behind this one is a rise to the top by one club, from amateur to European. The idea is, I'd been a YouTuber for 7 years, starting out unemployed when I was 18, and I was surprised how well the YouTube channel took off. What was I doing? Reporting on the local amateur leagues. I made enough money to travel around the country a little bit, so I could do other amateur leagues as well. It was something that wasn't covered in depth anywhere else, but I did, and somehow that caught the attention of an amateur club, who invited me to be their manager. From then on, I'd be in charge of that club, hoping to take them a long way. Alright, let's get into it. I'll pick up with you once I've managed to find a club, because I'm starting unemployed. And there it was, the offer came in. Idle Football Club, a very small and new amateur football club in Bradford, West Yorkshire, my birth town. I was delighted to go there, and when I say new, according to their own website, Idle Football Club, founded as Idle Juniors in 1997 by two local sides coming together with the goal of bringing football to the community. That goal still remains today. In 2015, Idle FC was formed in partnership with Idle Juniors as its adult section. Fast forward 5 years, and the two became one Idle FC. And there you have Idle FC officially was Idle FC in 2020. Over the years, the club has stayed modest in its size, but has remained committed to offering football to anyone who wants to play a beautiful game, and has strived to develop those who volunteer their services to support the growth of grassroots football in the local community. For the 2021-22 season, the club is currently, this was a couple of years ago of course, running 7 teams across all age groups. I was going to be in charge of the senior team and see if we could take them out of grassroots into the big leagues. I would be living in Shipley. I could afford a cheap flat there, and that was walkable distance. It was about an hour's walk to where they had their home ground, actually in the centre of Bradford, on Sutton Avenue, Swainhouse Road. But there were buses as well, and let's face it, my house was probably going to use those. It would be cheap to live there, on the cheapest flat I could find, and it was a delight to be home. And there was the announcement. Somehow it snuck into the Daily Mirror. I have no idea how a national paper picked it up. But Idle today confirmed the appointment of Yorkie York as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the inexperienced 25-year-old, and he is sure to face plenty of questions when he faced the media for the first time at Hanson School, showing just how small the team is that we're playing at a schoolyard, essentially, or a school sports field. Some factions in the media had been touting York as a favourite for the job all along, and his appointment has created much discussion around the club. York rejected the offers from Bramhope and Kirkstall Crusaders. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you to Idle, ahead of discussions regarding the club's vision and objectives. We have prepared a welcome pack to help you settle into your new home. This is a momentous day, and truly a sign of great things to come. Year founded, as I said, 1997 originally, but as the combined in 2020, I guess. Only a 200 capacity stadium and no charges. When we say amateur, we were talking amateur. No current obligations, of course. Board culture strive to make progress on and off the pitch. Actionable objectives none, facial objectives none. And of current finishing the Yorkshire Amateur League Championship top 3 places. Ahead of that, automatic promotion is wanted. But I only have a 1-year contract, in that you can call an amateur thing a contract because they weren't paying me at all. I was making money, as I said, from the podcast, which is obviously going to have to change to being focused on this team and their competition. Finish in the Yorkshire, yep. Right. We've seen that. Supporter profile. Competition expectations. 0 budget. Tactical direction required. Let me take a quick look at the squad, see what we don't even know what strengths we have, because our potential, etc., is unknown. Our staff, we have me. I'm going to have to see about doing something about that, so let me get back to you when we've got some response to ads, some selections of players and tactics set up, etc. A lot of local lads showed up my first game in charge at a friendly, and from them so far we've managed to sign 2. Nelson Edian, 18-year-old. He's just out of school actually. Played pretty well in centre back for us. And Danny Coogan, 21-year-old, works at local butchers. Here he is. Centre mid. He works. He does right back. He can do centre midfield. He can play for us quite nicely, I reckon. Let's see who else we get, shall we? Robbie Christie also showed some interest in signing for us. Nice little winger there to join our group. Can play anywhere on the left, to be honest. She'll work well with us. I'm glad we've got him. If you're wondering where he's from, he's actually from... I found him at the local college. Then we've got the first striker I've signed in, Max Brown. Worked for the local publican. I love a pint down his pub, I'm telling you. Now he's playing for the team. Wayne Craggs was just a kid, but he looked good for us. Another centre-back was joining us. We had more trialists joining us as well. We found we had a scout as well amongst the few fans we've had so far. Neil Hart, 51 years old. He can help us spot up talent for the future. Local college coach as well proved that he had the talent we were looking for and wanted to volunteer some time. That was Ben Chapman joining us. Turned out an old mate of mine from school was interested in joining us. Adam Patterson, defensive midfielder. I was looking forward to working with him. The gaffer had owner, I suppose, had another contact, Cal Connolly, 53-year-old assistant manager. Had experience to lead me on. I knew that was going to work out. One of the junior doctors from the Bradford Royal Infirmary decided to show up to be the head physio on his off days, Colin Whiteman. Oh, we've got lucky there, I think. Jake Heath joined us too as a defensive midfielder. Funnily enough, he was from the Elisa Moors. Belden Moor he lived. And Caelan Killini, a young lad of Irish and Scottish descent, born in England himself, joined us as defensive midfielder, centre midfielder. Could play either spot, it turned out. And another kid joined us out on the wings, Jacob Shepherd. It's funny, his dad was a goat herd, not a shepherd. He'd been unemployed for a couple of years. Hey, it gave him something to do. When our doctor joined us as the head physio, he brought one of the nurses, 28-year-old Jose French, to be the assistant physio there. We were looking good in the medical department. I wouldn't normally recommend a director of football for such a low league team, but Phil Warriner was willing to work for free, so why not? Another thing that might have been a bit questionable as an expense if he wasn't working for free was local high school sportsmaster Michael Eggleston joining us as youth development. He knew kids, that was good. Barry Farr had always been a non-league coach, and as he reached the end of his career, he was happy to join us since he was unemployed. Now, Dean Willicombe had been writing a blog like mine, except his was in print. I'd kind of modelled my YouTube porn off of him, so I was glad to see him join us as Chief Scout. Likewise, while he seemed fresh out of diapers himself, I mean, he's not much younger than me at this point. Ross Sinclair had already been working with his local youth at a local youth club. He'd be a good under 21s manager. And finally, after many attempts, we'd found someone who could play in goal for us, Declan Duggan. Every other goalkeeper had left. I didn't know much about the lad, but we were desperate. And so, with the end of August and the looming start of the Yorkshire Amateur League for improper, we'd managed to establish a team and staff. Not always the best, but some of these looked like gems for us. There were some that had just been fans that we'd signed up because we needed someone, like Taran Boket, Kavlin Andrew, and Macaulay Kitolo. Well, we'd have to strengthen the team further as we went on, but this looked promising. And the pre-season had gone nice. Coming up in September were 5 league games: Northampton, Bradford United Reserves, Leeds Independent, Yorkshire Amateur Reserves, and Wortley Reserves. A lot of reserve teams in our league, but then we are tier 13. If we can't look at it there. Well, anyway, I'll see you next time. I was going to try and look at where the comparisons are between our team and others, but we'll look at that next time. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. I'll see you around.